talk about protein. Protein, it's a much smaller box. Dietary protein goes into repairing and helping to grow your muscle mass, as well as it provides several different functions throughout the body to allow your organs and digestion and things like that to work a bit better. It's also very, very important for transporting other nutrients throughout the body. Let me break it down like this. That middle box, the protein. When you have the protein reaching its threshold, which is different for everybody, that protein will then break down. When excess protein is taken in, your body can only metabolize a certain amount of protein at a time. In a given sitting, the average fella, let's say he's 5'10" and about 180 pounds. If he gets, let's say, a 6-ounce cut of meat, that's about perfect for how much protein he can have in one meal. Now, if he has that multiple times a day, as in lunch, dinner, and then some sort of snack in the middle of the day that's going to have some protein, has some breakfast as well, we want to make sure that you're not breaking through how much protein fits into this box. It takes 3 to 4 hours to digest a meal fully. And so if you are a guy that is doing 20-ounce steaks at dinner, I guarantee you are not using all of that protein. It doesn't matter how big you are, how much muscle mass you have, you are not breaking down and utilizing all the protein in that steak. So, portion control. When you turn protein into sugar. So, protein, too much protein, will eventually break down into sugar. When you have that sugar, that little box gets filled back up again. So let me throw this scenario at you. You have a 16-ounce steak, but your body can only use 8 ounces of it because you are a heavy lifter, you're a big guy. I mean, I'm only 6'2" and about 205. I could probably handle 7-8 ounces of purely metabolized protein. When I go beyond that, let's say I do have that 16-ounce protein, of that extra 8 ounces of meat that my body cannot process, cannot break down and use, about 16 to 18 grams of glucose are produced. That is almost the equivalent of having a slice of bread. Now, this little box down here, funnily enough, at one given time, based on several studies, at one given time, the human body can utilize somewhere between that amount, 16 to 18, maybe up to 22 grams of carbohydrate in somebody who's a bit better, a bit more adept at breaking down carbohydrate. Now, if you are already filling that box with a dinner roll or dessert or a sweet tea or something like that at dinner, then you've just poured more onto that box than what it can handle, and it turns into glucose, which then turns into body fat. So the long and short of it is, if you're overdoing the protein, you're overdoing the sugar. If you're overdoing the sugar, you turn it into body fat. Getting too much protein in a sitting converts that protein into glucose, which it can either get stored as glycogen, that's glycogenesis, or it can get stored as body fat if your glycogen stores are already at capacity. Stored protein inside the body is muscle. You store quite a bit of protein within the muscle. You store quite a bit of carbohydrate within the muscle as well. But primarily, carbohydrates are stored in your liver as glycogen.